have Crute manning the TriCaster. Want to thank those fine folks for sending that baby over. All right, that was pretty sweet. We got chat jockey Mac, Jason, who's going to be fielding a lot of questions. And then we have Jamie Fox, the Academy Award winner, who's decided to spend some, no, that's a lie. She, most talented, is here manning the screen for creative production, I'm liking to call it. And Tyler, who's sort of an overlord, he has a whip in one hand and a monocle, strangely, in the other. And he's sort of watching everyone do what it is they do. First question for Tyler: is the air conditioning working? Because I'm already heating up.
Let's do it.
Remember, I'm a Jew. We sweat when we swim. Alrighty. We're going to be taking your questions. They're going to be fed to me momentarily. I want to go over a couple things happening. Do we have the Lindsay Lohan footage ready? And let me know when it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you got wind of this little story. I'm not going to be dipping too much into this world, but this particular one caught our attention. Poor child. You know, I mean, first of all, let's celebrate that Britney's back. That part, we're off the hook. Britney is back, people, and I couldn't be happier. Because for a while there, God bless you, Britney, but I felt like I was picking on a carny. Okay? That's how far off the wheels you had gone. Although I was digging that Uncle Fester look when you shaved your noggin. That was sweet. Well, I'm old-fashioned. I like when the drapes match the carpet. Here's the thing. Wait, what? So Lindsay, God bless you. I've been around the megastar, the bright light, the Nova, where you can't go anywhere without 73 pieces of crap, otherwise known as the paparazzi, chasing you, and pretty much ruining your life. But sometimes it gets funny. Sometimes, and years from now you'll be able to laugh at this yourself, Lindsay. But in the meantime, it's my job really to do what I can to assist you. Let me know when you've got that footage. Oh no, you know what? Is that going to appear in the upper right-hand corner? What I'm looking at, those letters, those 3 letters in the upper right-hand corner? We're not going to be able to use that footage then, because I refuse to promote those 3 letters. We had footage, and I've just now shit-canned it. That's how quick and live the show is. Speaking of shit-can, yeah, we get to swear and cuss. Sweet. Not that I'm going to drive it down your throats or into your eyes, but just letting you know. So anyways, Lindsay, God bless her. Flipping through the channels, Jamie and I sitting there, and suddenly there's a report that it was 4 a.m. Lindsay's in her car, and she's doing this, and the paparazzi are shooting pictures, and it's all very blinding. Poor child, God bless. It's 4 a.m. I'm not suggesting she's been drinking. And she's found herself on the private road to Jack Nicholson's house up Mulholland. Hello. And it gets so bad that her window's down, and at one point you can hear Jack literally saying from the squawk box, "The hell's going on out there? It's 4 a.m. Who is this?" Then a jump cut when clearly things have been explained to Jack. And he says, we hear through the squawk box, "Well, hell, what do you want me to do, honey?" And then the next shot is her driving up the driveway. So it's assumed that he allowed her onto the premises. I want the scene we're not privy to an hour later, where Jack's now pacing in front of Lindsay, who's, I'm guessing, on the couch trying to sober up. "Lindsay, what the hell? I've had a cup of coffee. I got a few questions. Question 1. Do we know each other? I don't recall. How did you find my house? Huh? Did you get yourself one of them stars, maps? Is that it? Listen to me, child. Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here. Seriously, you like chicks. You're no good to me now. Unless I get to watch. In that case, have at it." That was the footage that I wanted to see, and those 3 initials that like to cover what they consider to be the news refused to let us inside the house for the story. And I really wish I could have been privy. There's certain things you miss, like, other than Britney being back, the end of '08, what a year, huh? We got ourselves a new president, which is so unbelievably exciting. And I personally could have used another week's worth of coverage on the inauguration, because a full 10 days would have been great. But in those 3 days, I still missed that one shot I wanted to see, which would be between the inauguration and the shindig that night, the dance, where we saw Barack and his lovely wife, the First Lady, dancing. That's when all his white came out. In fact, she had to bust a move to kind of cover for him, which I thought was cool. But I missed that moment in between the inauguration and the shindig when he would, I'm assuming, be standing outside the Oval Office, right? He's president, it's official, but he's a smoker. So he's outside the Oval Office in that freezing January, pacing. It's some bullshit here, man. I'm the goddamn president. That would have been nice to have a camera on that. So as I said, we are going to be taking your questions. They're going to be throwing them to me here on the laptop. There are some things that I wanted to cover as I'm beginning to now. And for the third time, let me just reiterate, we're not ready. We're really not. It's not just me seeming like a guy talking till he runs out of breath. We've only got 3 hours to film. No, I'm kidding. The show's going to run an hour, unless you're good, and then we're going to go to an hour and a half. It's really up to you, people. Because the first thing, or the next thing I'd like to establish, rather, is how much I'd like this to be your show. Yes, it's called Kevin Pollak's Chat Show, but that can be changed too. I'd like this to be your show to the point where there's going to be a lot of contests. And the first prize for a lot of these contests that I can offer up is a copy of my live stand-up comedy CD called A Little Off the Top. I'm going to be throwing those your way, left and right, should you win some of these contests. Kevin, what do you look like with reading glasses on? Why all the questions? This is what I look like. It actually turns into a quick Woody Allen in some regards. You know, without sounding a bit didactic, I think it's extremely important that we bring in a large Aryan guest every fourth show, just to show diversity. Yes, well, let's get to some of your contests. All right, 3 degrees of Kevin Pollak. I don't know why that pussy bacon needs 6. That's my point. It's 3 degrees of Kevin Pollak. If you can stump me, if you can write in on twitter.com or the chat room box here at kevinpollakschatshow.com, if you can write in anyone in show business, anyone, and I can't get there in 3 degrees, you're getting a copy of the CD, the live stand-up CD. And hey, if that's not your idea of a prize, sell the bitch. I sell them for $20. You could probably get 10 on eBay. It's $10 cash in your pocket's all I'm saying. 3 degrees of Kevin Pollak. How about another contest? All right. Jesus. I like the little theme song. I don't know what your feelings were. A little jazzy? It's swing time. I like it. But I'm looking for this to be your show. I would like one of you to submit a 30-second clip of your idea of what the theme song of the show should be. Any one of you that want to submit this should send it to, let me say for the 4th time, we're not ready. Where should they send the clip to? Want to give me the Mahalo?
No, you can do contact at kevinpollakschatshow.com.
Contact at kevinpollakschatshow.com. Thank you, Tyler, the Overlord. Nice whip, nice monocle. Contact at kevinpollakschatshow.com. So, your idea of a theme song, 30 seconds. Crush it. I beg you. If you're chosen, I will use it on the show. I will give you the following prompts: the name of your band, the name of you, the artist, whoever wrote, whoever composed, upcoming gigs. We'll put all this information on the screen. We'll put it on the website. We'll promote the hell out of you if I should choose your idea of a 30-second theme song. That's another contest, and I'd like you to participate. That's my idea of this being your show, not just mine. Here's something I was a little reluctant to share. The show is going to be available on a podcast on iTunes 2-3 hours after it airs. The reluctance you're hearing, the reason I don't want to share this is because what's really important to me are the eyeballs that watch the show live. Right now we have 927. I'm not impressed. I'm gonna just say it. I'm not impressed. I have a standing wager with Jason Calacanis, one of the executive producers of this show, and the fine creator of Mahalo.com, where we're shooting this show from his studios. By the way, I was the first Jew allowed in the building. And I was. I'm not gonna tell you what my number was that I told him we would get, but his number was 3,000, and if we don't get to at least 3,000, there may not be a second show. But if there is a second show next Sunday, it's every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. If there's a next show, we've already booked Joe Mantegna, wait for it, and Jim Gaffigan. Right? You want to take a knee? Go ahead. And rise. How was church, by the way? All right, Sanford and Son. We've got our first. Is that their idea of 3 degrees? Or is that their idea of what the theme song should be? It should be the theme from Barney Miller, your theme. Okay, your show, your suggestion. May I respond? Shit idea. That's the kind of show this is. This ain't your daddy's show. I want your response. I want your implied knowledge of what the theme song should be, implied because you're entitled to your opinion. And the theme song from Barney Miller, although great, seems like it's already been used for a show. Why would I? You see? I'm looking for 30 seconds of original music. Get back to work. There'll be other contests, as I want this to be your show. I'd like to take some questions now from you. We're up to 984. What were we before? 992? Did we lose? What were we before? 932. 922. 920. We've gone up. See, what I need, people, is the Twitter.com. This is how this all started. I should probably explain that, too. 4 weeks ago, Jason Calacanis said, "You're on Twitter.com." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he explained it to me. About a week later, it was the Oscars telecast, and I decided to do a running commentary on the Oscars. And that's when this all kind of blew up a little bit in terms of people responding in the reply page of Twitter.com. "Oh my God, the Oscars normally suck. You're making it great. Please don't stop." And it was snarky crap that you'd say to your friend sitting on the couch watching the Oscars. But I was typing it in 140 characters or less. I was editing myself on the fly, which is not easy when you're trying to be funny, instantaneously. But, you know, Queen Latifah, God bless her, came out, gorgeous, and I just said, "Cut me off a slice of that big blue pie." Was that wrong? I don't care if it was wrong. It was funny, and that's why I typed it. So people were responding and replying, and suddenly there was people on Twitter.com, and I went from, I don't know, 1,500 followers to 30,000 in a couple days. That was nutty. And like my first guest, LeVar Burton, I jumped to about 170,000. This ain't your daddy's show. That's right. I can look right down the barrel, baby, and I can hold it for longer than I should. Mainly because I know, number 5, we ain't ready. So anything I can do to kill time is going to be good for everybody. We're up to 999. If 1,003, we're growing. People, I need your help. I want this to be your show. And I'm not just being a whore to get numbers. I want this to be your show. I want you to be the person that turns somebody on. Like the first time you saw, I'm just going to pick a movie out of Thin Blue, The Usual Suspects. And you told someone, have you seen this movie? It's like a passage of, I can't speak. A rites of passage when you're in college. By the time you're a sophomore, if you can't speak Suspects, you're a loser. This is true on campus all over the country, as it's been told to me. This is not ego so much as what I've been told. The ego's plenty. I think we've established that already in the first 17 minutes of the show. Healthy ego. Healthy, hey, look at me disease. Otherwise, why do this? So it's kind of like that. You want to be the person to turn somebody on to Kevin Pollak's chat show. You want to be the person who hears, what? What are you talking about? Where's that? Be that person. Here's one of the reasons. Today, big celebration. And then we'll get to my first guest. Big celebration today. William Shatner, 78 years old. Il Papa, my captain. I can't believe I made it. 78. The times that I've had, the lips that I've kissed in the last 7, 8 years. Astounding. Not all green, by the way. Some funny, interesting tales about William Shatner celebrating his 78th birthday today. Happy birthday, Bill. Even though I'm so certain you're not watching. And even if someone showed this to you, you'd say, he's not funny. No, actually, Bill and I spoke on the phone this last week, and he's been a driving force in my career and in my life, and I'm madly in love with this 78-year-old madman, and he's a hero, and clearly anyone who doesn't worship at the feet of the great Bill Shatner is crazy, or doesn't have booze in their life. So 25 years maybe I've been doing the Shatner impression. Talk shows, HBO specials, whatever. Every chance I get, I'm making fun of Bill Shatner. And why not? Because the Shatner I make fun of is the 67 through 69 TV series Star Trek Shatner, which, let's face it, needs to be made fun of. Because on that show, of course, he created pause acting. That's where you pause. And no one knows why. And his chest would come into the room before he did. These things happen on the show. So after all these years of making fun of him, kind of became known for it in certain circles. I've been on the Conan O'Brien show a couple dozen times. The only reason I mention that is that every time I'm on his show, he asks me to do Shatner. I mean, every time. It got so bad once, Conan said, "Look, Kevin, I know we ask you to do Shatner every time you're here, but this time we want it to be a little more fair as to who you do." So he brought out a huge wheel with 100 names on it. All William Shatner. Imagine after all that, I get a phone call. William Shatner's writing a book called Get a Life. Funny book. It's about Trekkies. He wants me to participate in the book. Wants me to come to his office and explain in the book to the reader how to do, in his words, the consummate Captain Kirk impression. Well, for a monkey who does voices, this is as good as it gets. If you fantasize about doing an impression, what might come of it, this is it. I jump into my car, race into his office, and then it dawns on me, oh, no. I have to now say to his face, well, you used to be a shitty actor. That's why there's an impersonation. You gesture like a marionette, and you take pauses no one can explain. So I can't say that to his face, obviously. Although someone will send him this podcast from iTunes, which will be available in about 3 hours, and he'll watch it, and he'll go, So, I can't say that to his face. I get in the car, I drive to his office. This is what I make up in the car. This is what I say to him when I finally see him. 3 degrees between me and Ronald Reagan. That's easy. That's too easy. Ronald Reagan worked with a chimp, and I'm a chimp. We've already established this. I'll get to that one in a second. I have to finish the Shatner story. Because I have 2 guests. The show's only 4 hours. I get to his office, this is what I say. Well, Bill, you know, Star Trek was a great show, won some Emmys. I certainly don't have to tell you that. But the show wasn't always great. Not always. And the set for the bridge on the Enterprise was a little cheap, cheesy looking. You got on the elevator the wrong way and bumped it. It wobbled a little bit. And some of the aliens that chased you around were kind of lame. What was that unicorn, albino bear thing? What the hell was that? So, you know, sometimes you had to be the captain, not just of the ship, but the captain of the show. You had to create drama where there wasn't any. And in order to do that, sometimes you had to overact a little bit. He writes all that in the book verbatim. Yeah. And editorializes underneath in his own words. Kevin was absolutely right. And I hadn't realized it until he pointed it out. It all started years before. My first play on Broadway called The Adventures of Susie Wong. And the play was horrendous. We lost half the audience at intermission every performance. I realized it. I had to do something. So the very next performance, I went out on stage and said my lines differently. I said, "I'll have a cup of coffee. I think there's someone at the door." And the audience stayed riveted in their seats, trying to figure out what the hell's the matter with me. That Kevin was wrong about all the pausing I did on Star Trek. The only reason I paused so much is because I couldn't remember my damn lines. Happy birthday, Bill. 78. We should all be so lucky. You're an inspiration. And I love you. Denny Crane, nice ass. Mad cow. I promised to get to your questions, so I'm going to have to. I want desperately to get my first guest out here. So let me do the Ronald Reagan, or I'm going to be sending a CD here. I need 3 degrees. All right, so I need to come up with some people that Ronald Reagan worked with. I mean, I know he knew Sinatra, who worked with Rickles, and I did Casino with Rickles. That's technically 2 degrees. But did he work with? He worked with Sinatra on the inaugurational special on television. Does that count as working with? Technically, 2 degrees. Go screw yourself. All right. Try though. 3 degrees. Bring it. Come on. Somebody said Charlie Chaplin once, and I broke them down. So, bring it. Anybody. Seriously. All right. I'm going to bring out my first guest because I've stalled as much as I can, and we're literally 25 minutes into the show, and we are up to, suck on it, 1152. Yeah! Please, take a moment. I'll give you that moment. Twitter, email, text, phone call. Take a minute. I won't be so entertaining over the next 90 seconds. Take a moment. Call everyone you've ever known. Contact them and ask them to go to Kevin Pollak's chatshow.com. I would just, listen, I'm happy. In fact, I'm going to go back to entertaining now. Forget that. I want to maintain the 1152. I want to hold on to you. So let's bring out my first guest. And please type in your questions because I've got a bunch, but I want your questions too. I'm only going to say it 73 times. This is your show too. Number 6, we're not ready. We should probably mic up my first guest while I introduce him. I'm very excited. I worked with this gentleman, I guess, about 5 years ago. He'll correct me when he's here momentarily. When he directed me in a little opus called Blizzard. It was a wonderful and if not beautiful Christmas film that we'll talk about briefly. But you all know him from his multiple years. It's not my business to mention how many. At least 25, possibly 30. 25, I'm going to say. 25. Years in show business, and he's done way more than you. And there's a thing going on Twitter.com where sometimes people go after each other, but in a snarky, funny way. And I was twittering or tweeting one day, and I saw that Michael Ian Black was going after LeVar Burton, and I said, "What the hell is this?" And I was following up Michael Ian Black because he's so funny, and also because he replies back to no one. And so I thought, I'm going to come to LeVar's side, and I did, and then we kind of touched base again, and then a week later or so, the Ellen Show, at Ellen Show on the Twitter is going after him, and that's not right. I mean, really going after him, in a funny way, We just passed LeVar Burton, aren't we special? Ellen, you're on every day in the afternoon. Get over it. You're already special. Ellen will be on the show, by the way. So I immediately tweeted, LeVar, I'll show you some love. Be my first guest on the debut show, Sunday, March 22nd. He insta-replied, you got it. And the show was off and running, and that makes me so very, very happy. Because we were scrambling. I had 17 people that had said yes, and no one had committed to the first show. And then I saw this thing going after LeVar. I'm going to be dead honest. And I said, you know what? I need LeVar. He needs my love right now. He's going to come on, and he's going to kick some serious ass. And we're also going to talk about Twitter, which is, again, how this all started. This is going to be perfect. I don't need to show a clip. I'm just going to welcome him to our show. If you would, please, say hello to the brilliant, multitasking, multi-talented, also chapeau-wearing LeVar Burton. Hi, buddy.
Kevin Pollak.
We have a studio audience. Maybe
we do. Yeah, we do. It's fantastic.
And, Let me see the two-shot. Give me that damn two-shot. We paid so much for that extra camera. I love that. There's the two-shot. Huh? Liking it?
It's a good-looking thing. And
yeah.
neither one of us told the other he was wearing a hat.
How about that?
Before we saw each other.
Are we connected?
Very much so.
Right.
Very much so. I'm your first guest.
What do you think?
I'm loving this.
Now, you've been here for 29 minutes watching the shenanigans.
Yes.
Be honest. Be my first critic.
You're not ready.
I said that 6 times first. 1,110. We've lost 2 viewers.
Really?
I'm not saying you being here.
No. I'm very happy. I'm honored, in fact, to be your first guest. You know how I feel about you. I'm a big Kevin Pollak fan.
We discussed that in Quebec City.
We did.
Yeah.
We definitely did.
We shot Blizzard.
We shot really one of my most fulfilling showbiz experiences in the 30 years I've been doing this. That movie was.
Well, let's talk about it, because I'm allegedly on my way to a directorial debut, so they tell me.
Seriously?
I'm not going to believe it till I'm on the set saying action.
Okay.
Tell me the first 3 things I need to know. First-time director.
Yeah.
I'm an actor.
Yeah.
Like you are.
Mm-hmm.
Feed just got interrupted, so it's going to restart in a minute.
Okay. Well, there you go. About death, but 30 years later of life experience, and now he really felt like, okay, I think I can do this now.
Right.
So we committed to one another, rented the theater, and he went to work. I didn't see any pages until after Christmas, and we've been in rehearsal now for about 3 weeks. We open in 3 more.
You open in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. We open the weekend of Easter Sunday. We open April 10th.
Wow.
Here in Los Angeles at the Whitefire Theater.
10th.
Yes, Friday the 10th.
Nice.
And we run Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. We run weekends through Mother's Day.
Where should people go to find out more information?
You can go to thecatererplay.com.
Nice.
Thecatererplay.com. That's
nice.
our website.
Now let's switch gears and tell me about your introduction. Question for LeVar. This question came from, when you get a chance, tell me who this question came from so I can give him a shout out. I loved reading Rainbow, of course, as a child. Really, you did? Because no one else did. It was just you. And now use it as a teaching aid for my students.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that.
What was your initial motivation for the show? This is actually a great story.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it.
It's a good question.
It's
a good question.
Great question.
It's a good question.
And I'm going to give you credit for that question the moment that Mac tells me your name, if it was shared with us, or the name you gave us. So why don't you, how did this?
Well, it's one of those things. I believe that everything happens really purposeful in life, purposefully. There are no accidents. My mother was an English teacher.
You're lying already.
I'm very serious.
Okay.
In my mother's house, you either read a book or got hit in the head with one. That's how she rolls, Irma. And the Roots experience for me really was one where I was blown away by the power of the medium of television.
Right.
In 4 nights of television, or actually 2 nights, 4 hours of television, my life was changed. I watched America go through a major change over the 8 consecutive nights of programming that Roots was in January of 1977.
So hard to fathom that actually 8 nights in a row.
8 nights in a row, which is a great story too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I loved the idea, when it was first brought to me, the idea of using the medium of television to steer children back in the direction of literature and the written word. I am acutely aware that, I am the sum total of everything that I've ever experienced, and the books that I've read, my exposure to literature is a large part, has played a large role in my development. And
who you are.
And who I am. I believe that to be true for everyone, for every single one of us. So it just made a lot of sense to take this very powerful medium and put it to good use. It's no secret that our children in this culture watch an awful lot of TV.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a chance to do something
This was your
valuable.
idea to do this?
No, the show was created by my co-executive producer, a woman named Twyla Leggett, who comes from the educational field. She was a teacher and then got into producing television. And the idea was to get a child who's at that decision-making point that every human being gets to at some point in their lives. Am I going to become a reader for life or not? And we wanted to get to that child at that decision-making point and make sure that, reading the literature, the written word, was a part of their world.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who wrote the question? Do we know yet? Mac?
Sounds like that person was a teacher.
I just want to give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Definitely a teacher. I just want to
Definitely a
give him a
teacher.
shout out. So when you get a chance, get me some sort of. Dr. Onage asked to both of you. Is that a new question or that's? Yeah, that's a new question. So I can't give the shout out yet. You'll let me know how. Let's switch gears real quick and tell me about how the hell you stumbled across Twitter.com. Because this really is the jumping off point for all this insanity, and I love this reconnection that we actually had, and the reconnection we had with so many people already after only 1 month through this thing.
Yeah. It's kind of wacky, isn't it?
Well, first of all, I don't like that. I love that you don't have to maintain a page. You don't all this. To me, Twitterland is how I grew to hate MySpace and avoid Facebook. Twitterland is so lovely in terms of here's the thought I had, here's a question I have. I'm looking for a new high-def little camcorder.
Whatever.
Any ideas?
Yeah.
75 suggestions with links on where to go to find it. Nobody's selling anything. Just literally saying, here's some help.
It's a community.
Yeah.
It is a virtual community. That's
How'd you
what
find
I really
it?
like about it. It came to my attention, again, through a couple of degrees of separation. I got an email from somebody who knew me and knew my email address.
Right.
I got an email that there was somebody on this thing called Twitter who was impersonating me. And that they were
No.
Yes.
That's how it started.
That's how it started.
Who a good friend said, you've got to stop this. Or this is ridiculous.
I read the email and I thought, wow, this is, I need to look into this. So,
yeah, you do.
because the person was, apparently the person was very funny, but also engaging
you're not?
in some.
What does that mean?
Well, no, he was saying things that are funny in the context of coming out of LeVar Burton's mouth that weren't necessarily in keeping with who I am.
But still someone who knows you?
No, this person didn't know me at all. They were just masquerading as me, but had amassed a certain number of followers, a couple of thousand people at that point.
Okay, so the first thing you do.
I called a friend of mine who, handles all the tech in my world, and he had a really good connection there at Twitter, and called them up and said, look, there's somebody impersonating LeVar. Is there anything that we can do about it? And the people at Twitter have been absolutely fantastic about making sure that people who are being impersonated can reclaim their own identity and the right to speak for themselves.
And then they called Michael Ian Black's people and said, you need to go after LeVar.
Which was really funny. I mean, I did not expect that to happen.
Did you know him?
I've never met him.
Even better.
I nead never met him.
That's fantastic.
I never met him. Knew who he was, had never met him.
Right.
And again, in the context, it was all very funny. And the war turned out to be, kind of a fun thing.
This is, I love jumping around if you don't mind.
No, man,
because we're getting questions.
I am here. I am your first guest, Kevin Pollak. And it's not your show. It's called the Kevin Pollak Chat Show, but it's actually not your show.
It's not my show.
It's their show.
It's their show, and Jamie has just tossed me this question from Texas Red Wolf. Hey, the hell kind of a name is that? Texas Red Wolf wants to know from LeVar, how did starring in Roots affect your outlook on life in regards to racial issues? Now, you're 19.
I was 19.
You're in this thing. Do you have a concept of how powerful this material is at 19?
No.
Not really.
No, nobody did.
Right.
Nobody did. The reason that Roots was aired in 8 consecutive nights of programming was because Fred Silverman and all of the geniuses at ABC back in the day, they knew it was good.
Sure.
But they did not know that...
the book was a crazy, huge bestseller.
It was at that time.
Right.
It was. But they just weren't sure that in a country where 20% of the population is black, that a show in which the whites are the villains and the blacks are the heroes is going to play in, as they say, Peoria.
Right.
So the first couple of miniseries were broadcast in weekly installments. And ABC figured, look, let's just put it all on at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if nobody watches, in a week's time, we'll be done.
But I mean, for you personally, are you just in actor mode? Like, this is an amazing gig, and I can't believe I was doing a play at USC, and all of a sudden I'm in this huge television show. Does it affect you at all as a young black man? Honestly,
it does.
What is going through your mind in that regard?
This is the first time in my young life at that time that the story of slavery was told with a face on it.
How weird that face is you.
Yeah. And
do you feel a sense of responsibility?
Not at 19. I didn't know enough to feel a sense of responsibility.
Probably a good
thing.
It was
the first time anybody was paying me for doing what I wanted to do with my life.
Right.
It was a great gig. My very first day as a professional actor, Cicely Tyson played my mother. Maya Angelou played my grandmother. I was in actor heaven.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
So that's where my focus was. And in terms of the cultural significance, that didn't begin to dawn on me until Roots became the cultural phenomenon that it was. The audience grew exponentially every night. The final episode of Roots is still, I think it's the third most watched episode of television in the history of the medium.
But for you personally, it was slowly dawning on you what it actually meant.
It took years, I think, for the fullness of what Roots means and who Kunta Kinte is to people to really penetrate me.
Right.
I think I have a sense of it now.
Well, you should. You better. Yeah. Honestly.
But it was really difficult, to get perspective on it for a few years.
I would think so. At 19.
At 19.
Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, Jamie's telling me that question came from Twitter.com. By the way. Yeah, that's at Texas Red Wolf. I'm guessing.
We love our Twitter folk, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
do.
We did some announcements and we told people we were going to be here, and the responses were great. You were telling me when we went down the first time during this broadcast that the response on your phone.
Yes.
Can we get you some water, by the way?
Could you?
Please.
Is that possible? I have a glass with some ice over there.
Can we put less in it though? Yeah. This is nowhere near enough for you. What are you drinking? Diet?
Just a beverage. Any beverage will do.
Some fabulous water please. Let's say it together for the 7th time. We ain't ready.
We're not ready.
Hey, look what I have.
What have we got? Look at you.
Jamie, before the show starts, Jamie says, I put this pitcher down by you in case you would like some water. And then Kate Shorter, our fabulous makeup and hair artist, just crawled over on hands and knees and said, how about now, Schmuckalovitz? You want to use the pitcher now?
For those of you at home,
oh my God.
I really wish you could all be here because it is like Kevin and his friends have decided to put on a talk show. And what you
We're keeping it real.
What you are missing behind the scenes are the entrances and exits. We've got this camera here. We've got Kevin's camera here. We've got a 2-shot camera over there. And in order for those who need to get anywhere in this room to get where they're going, we are crawling around on the floor on our hands and knees.
When I was doing your introduction,
yes,
and I saw you, my first guest, and in my mind I'm thinking Brezhnev. I'm thinking huge heads of state importance.
You're David Frost, and this is momentous, right?
And I see my first guest crawling by to get into his chair without being seen by one of the cameras.
Kunta on all fours.
Yeah, baby! No, it doesn't get any better than this. The teacher who asked the question about the rainbow question, by the way, just goes by the handle Martina. So thank you, Martina, for that question earlier. I wanted to give you credit again. I'm making all efforts to make this their show. You.
Are you really serious though about the theme song thing?
I am.
You really are.
I really am. 30 seconds of any original music. If it's chosen, we'll use it. We'll give all kinds of credit and props to that individual or persons. And we'll do it every week if a good one comes in every week. And then eventually if we find the theme music, we'll just stick with that. But I'm thinking for the first 6, 12, maybe 20 shows, if there's an audience. I'll use a different theme song every week. We just lost 17 people. They just went, oh, God.
It's a little intimidating, don't you think?
I'm just trying to do things that we haven't really seen before on TV.
That's a good one.
That, by the way, that's always right there.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Why do you ask? Do you have some music?
No, but I was just really curious. I mean, I think that's a very bold idea to, and you're soliciting original music now.
Only original.
You just don't want suggestions for what you should play.
Dear God, please not. Yeah. Original music, composed, recorded, and delivered.
Right.
We'd like to just throw it up.
Okay.
And you could be as simple as giving me a link to your song through the interwebs, and we'll grab it that way. Right. However you'd like to share your 30-second theme song, and we will maybe use yours.
And then the winner for that week
each week I will choose a winner.
That's fantastic.
If we get some great stuff.
Okay.
All
right.
We could get 17 replies, all stinkaroo. Yeah. What am I supposed to do? Put stinkaroo at the top of the show? Maybe I will to prove a point.
No. You've got one that really serves already, right?
You like it?
I did. I loved it. I thought that was very nice. Catchy.
Who should I give the credit to finding that music? Do you know? Was it Tyler? Was it Jason Calcanis?
It was Tyler.
It was Tyler. Tyler, all the props in the world to Tyler, who is the one with the whip and the monocle. The overlord of the show.
The Overlord. Tyler the Overlord.
Let's take another question here. Thompson, Mark Thompson. Remember Mark Thompson?
Goodson Thompson Productions?
Yes, exactly. Mark Thompson asked, LeVar, what is the most amazing thing that you do? You know, you walk in a room full of people, he's making a comment. You walk into a room of people, he believes this to be one of your attributes, I'm realizing. Maybe read the thing before you say what it says.
Would you like a moment?
That you walk into a room and with people you've just met 2 minutes ago, and 30 people, and you can remember their names.
Wow.
Would you say that's something that's true about you? Because he's noticed this about you.
Who is this man?
Mark Thompson is a great friend I've known forever and ever. He's currently he does the weather on the local Fox affiliate.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I had to say.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I don't like to go right to Weather Boy.
Right, no.
You know what I mean?
But
I like to build up a little.
But that's how I remember him.
He appeared with me in the movie Deterrence. He was also on the first season of 24, maybe the first 2 seasons of 24 as a news correspondent. The man has been on the silver screen and the smaller screen.
He has.
Now his question comes over the interwebs.
Yeah.
And so he's saying that you have
The name thing.
Have this ability.
I like remembering people's names.
Here's my problem with this, and here's why I admire that in you and anyone that can do that. When I'm meeting someone for the first time, okay, someone says, this is LeVar. As we're shaking hands and you're saying, nice to meet you, this is what my brain is doing.
Right.
So let's do that and you say, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's the funny thing I'm going to say next?
Right.
So I don't hear the name.
Yeah.
As you're saying, hi, I'm LeVar.
Right.
What's the funny thing I'm going to say next?
Yes.
That's all I'm thinking.
Right.
Can't hear. It's not good.
It's an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous issue,
Yeah,
and it's one that I should clearly talk to somebody about because I'm lost in the woods there for a second while I'm trying to figure out what your name was. But you can walk into a room, meet 30 people, and seconds later go, like the amazing Kreskin
Like
or some
Kreskin.
such thing.
Yeah.
Is that a natural thing, or did you?
It's something I've worked at. I wouldn't say I could do 30 people.
You
in a
chose to
couple of-
work on this?
I did, yeah. I think it's important.
Wow.
I do. I think it's important. I think that people, everybody wants to feel acknowledged. You know?
Right. Yes, they do.
Yeah, and I find myself a lot in situations where people, people are happy to meet me, and so it doesn't take. All it takes is, and you're absolutely right. All it takes is paying attention,
Listening.
and listening.
Yeah,
listening, and then I try and repeat it in my mind, and then I try and use it with them in conversation as soon as I can, and try and lock it in, and then pretty soon.
I
it's
love
there.
making the effort, man, because I remember Bill Clinton did this, and it was kind of a thing of his. Of course, he was, we don't know what he was thinking. Nice to meet you,
Yeah, yeah.
Bridget.
Yeah,
I'll see you in the Oval Office
Exactly.
later tonight.
Yes.
By the way, I just see him kissing up to Barack, don't you? Man, you have got to get me back in that house. That house was good for me. I'm serious. I was hoping to set records, and they yanked me out of there.
I think that
Hey, buddy. You think he's doing that with Barack a little bit?
I think that he would like to, but I think he's a little afraid of Barack.
Yeah, he's got to be.
I think so.
I love that Hillary got the position just to keep creepy Bill around for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's take another question if we can. Lots of people are asking LeVar, what do you think of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek film?
I haven't seen it.
Of course you haven't, but the
seen it.
idea of it, the notion of it, let's talk about, are you excited to see it? What are your feelings having been a part of the legend and the lore, which I guess came to us, in 3 parts? You had the original Star Trek, we
Right.
had the Next Generation, and then we had the Mishigas
Everything
that
else.
followed.
Yeah.
Should we just say that,
Yeah.
the everything else?
Everything else.
And not to, let's
No, not to denigrate. No, but
let's go ahead for
yeah,
now.
yes.
Let's denigrate them until I get them on the show, and then we can denigrate you and what Shatner did.
Absolutely.
So J.J. Abrams has got this reinvented. It's the original cast. They're young men
Right.
and women.
Starfleet Academy.
And
We've gone back to the beginnings.
you've seen the
really
trailer?
beginnings. I have. I've seen 2.
What do you think of the trailer? Let's just
Very
start there.
exciting. Very, very exciting.
Because I'm a little bit of a nerd for the show,
Yeah.
the original show, and I can't wait to see this
Yeah.
film.
I'm a big fan of JJ's. I want to go on record as saying that. I think the man is really talented. I'm eager to see what he's done.
You watch The Lost?
I do watch Lost. I
Is
do.
this not a great season?
Lost lost me for a long time.
Lost a lot of people.
And
Let's say lost more.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But how great is this season?
I'm loving it.
I know.
I really am.
And I love how I was with our next guest, Sam Levine,
Mm-hmm.
watching this last episode. We went and had some great sushi, sugarfish in the Marina Del Rey area, the best.
Is this like your version of Leo Laporte's Audible.com thing?
Maybe.
You're looking for some free sushi?
No. I already know the owner. It's fine.
All right.
But we came back to the house and watched this last episode of Lost together. And as great as the episode was, when they showed the preview for next week, filled with 4-second intervals of this. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Who's the what? What about?
Yeah.
So as great as the episode was already, as soon as the trailer for the next week's show ended, I turned to Sam and I said, I have no idea again what the show's about. It's so great this year.
It's fantastic storytelling. I really do. I'm really hooked. I love the show. I love the show.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, or my understanding, I shouldn't say clear, my understanding is that J.J. Abrams is not involved in the day-to-day process of the show, so I'm not.
He's a little busy.
I'm not necessarily giving him credit for how great this season is.
Right.
I don't mean to do that to the people that are working so hard to make it so brilliant. And oh man, I just love.
They're
this
doing
season.
a really good job.
So I want to see the movie too.
Yeah.
And you tell us where we can find the play again.
The Caterer.
Yeah.
We are at the White Fire Theater in Sherman Oaks, California. We open April 10th.
Friday, April 10th.
Friday, April 10th. We do shows on the weekends only. Fridays, Saturdays. 2 shows on Sundays. Curtain is at 8 o'clock.
Here's another great question as we jump around, bringing in the audience to be a part of this.
Because it is, after all, their show.
It is their show. It's not my show. My name's just on the name of the show. Yeah. This came from Twitter.com. Thank you, Jamie, who's forwarding this Twitter and helping to creatively produce the show. And she wrote, my girl's Jamie Foxx, by the way. And thank you.
I was confused by that.
Thank you, Eric Bishop, for changing your name to Jamie Foxx, because she gets to live in that hell.
I thought you were dating, a black man for a while. And it was, and not that I would
jealous?
blame you.
You got jealous?
No, it wasn't I was jealous, I was confused.
You were confused.
I was momentarily confused.
So Jamie wrote this great bit called the Larry King Game, which you and I are going to play before you go anywhere.
Oh, very nice.
But before that, I want to go to the Twitter.com question. At Tammy LaFontaine from Twitter.com is asking how if doing the Reading Rainbow, and the answer seems obvious, that's why it's a great question. I want to hear it from you. Okay. How it changed how you raise your kids.
Wow.
Are you just forcing books onto them just to keep up the appearance?
Just because I should?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens? How does it?
You know what? Actually, and thank you, Tammy LaFontaine. I recognize the name because she's actually follows me on Twitter, and I followed her back, and she's kind of funny. She's not kind of funny. She is funny.
No, she is funny. She follows me as well.
Yeah. Has Reading Rainbow changed the way I've raised my kids?
By the way, let's point out between us,
yeah,
we have 330,000.
Yes.
330,000 followers on Twitter.com.
I love that you and I are we're like
we're neck and neck.
We are. We hang out in the same Twitter neighborhood.
330,000 followers between us. Yeah. How many of them are watching right now?
I don't know.
1,174.
Fantastic.
No, it isn't.
Oh.
It's horrific. No.
I thought this was good. This is the first show. It's going to get better.
Listen.
I promise you.
Listen,
it will get
I'm
better.
only mentioning the number to draw attention to how silly it is.
Yeah.
And as time progresses and that number either goes to 2 or goes to 330,000, we shall see. But I just want to take the pin at it.
Huge success.
Tell me, please, to answer the question, how when raising your kids, how much is reading and books a part of that?
Huge.
And did you sit them down to watch you doing that show?
No. I don't force my kids to watch TV at all.
I do when you're not around. Just so you know.
They found the show independently on their own. My daughter, when she was little, she used to call the show Daddy Rainbow. Is that not
Daddy
so?
Rainbow?
Daddy Rainbow.
What could be a gay thing? Because the rainbow sticker?
Yes.
Not important.
Well, there you
Not
have
important.
It.
That was unnecessary.
Yeah, but funny. But funny.
Thank you. All right, so Daddy Rainbow. So she saw the show in just glimpses. It was really about how it changed you in terms of them reading.
Look, for me, books, literature, and how we have used the medium of television to instill in a generation, perhaps two, of Americans a love for books and the written word. Hands down, the thing I am probably, aside from my children, most proud of in my life.
Wow.
And being able to pass on to my children the way my mother did to me, an innate love of the written word and everything that that universe represents, the universe of literature. It's all good. And
It
I've
really
done
is.
it with TV, even better.
Yeah,
Even
it
better.
really is extraordinary, and it's touched so many people all over the world. I can't even fathom what that must feel like, honestly, to travel the world. I mean, I travel the world and people say, I like you in this, I like you in that, but this particular aspect of people's lives, because, you know, you talk about how your mother instilled in you this reading.
Yeah.
My mother would hit me if she saw me with a book. That's a lie. But I know just the notion of your parents getting that involved, and now you're allowing other parents and teaching other parents and showing other parents that it's cool and it's okay. I don't know, man. That's amazing.
That first generation of Reading Rainbow watchers are now becoming parents themselves.
That's
and
right.
Turning the
And you're
show
meeting
on.
them.
And I'm meeting their kids, which makes me feel incredibly old. However,
But all the time, just
all
coming
good.
up to you saying,
it's all good. I loved Reading Rainbow when I was growing up.
and now I have my kids.
And now I have my kids, and I show to them, turn them on to it. It's all good. And you know, and they, you know, I found you first on Reading Rainbow, and then I started watching Star Trek, and I couldn't figure out why the black man was wearing the sunglasses that I knew from Reading Rainbow, but I went with it, and now I'm a fan of Star Trek too. All of those things.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The sunglasses didn't work for me
No?
on the Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
I never understood. I was so frustrated. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what the actor, the character, the emotions, and those damn glasses were pissing me off.
Right.
Did anyone ever say that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I said it all the time.
Take these MF glasses off me, man. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, just windows of the soul, man. You know.
They were paying me to put them on. I put them on.
Yeah. Yeah. I really can't thank you enough for being the first guest and also not walking out that door when the show shut down twice.
Promise me one thing.
Yes.
Promise me.
Will
promise
you
me
come
two
back?
Things. Promise me two things.
Yeah.
One, that you will continue to have fun, and
Yeah.
two, once you're really ready to do the show, you'll invite me back.
I want you back. And before you leave, we're going to play Larry King game because it's going to become a running tradition.
Okay.
You'll be the first.
All right.
And the mistake I made, please bear with me because number 8, we ain't ready to do this, is that I like to tell the guest at the start of the interview so they have the whole interview to think about it and digest it.
You were throwing this at me with no preparation.
No preparation at all.
At all.
And this being the first show, it's kind of perfect that I should screw this up.
Why should this moment be different than any other?
Yeah. And to my Jews, Manash Tanaha Laila Hazeh. All right? These are the 4 questions on the Passover.
Okay.
Why is this day different than any other day? Or night? Why is this night
I think
different?
it's a night. What,
Yeah.
you're looking to the Aryan with the whip and the monocle?
I'm looking to my Levine.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So here it is. The Larry King game,
Yeah.
as created by Jamie Foxx, the original. Larry King, God bless him, hell of a career, but let's face it, he's 107.
He is.
It's my belief that it's only a matter of time before he accidentally shares something about himself on the air that we shouldn't know. So when you play the Larry King game, which was introduced on Conan O'Brien, Tina Fey played the Larry King game,
Really?
Conan O'Brien played the Larry King game, and now LeVar Burton will play the Larry King game.
This is
What-
something that you do.
When it's your turn,
Okay.
I can't get enough of this.
All right.
When it's your turn to play the Larry King game,
Okay.
you must do 3 things. Do a bad Larry King impression.
Oh.
Well, that's nice. You're off the hook.
Yeah.
You don't have to be good at this.
Right.
A bad Larry King impression. That's everybody.
All right.
All right. Reveal something about yourself on the air that no one should know as Larry King, the way he would do eventually on the air, which I'm insisting the day is coming.
Okay.
And then go to the phones. And when you go to the phones, it would help if the name of the city was kind of funny sounding. I'll give you an example of the whole thing so you know where we're coming from.
Okay.
I'll do this into my camera. Literally, my camera. I want to give a shout out to Doug Robinson, working on the Sony lot, who got me a break in the price on my camera. Okay. Larry King game, example 1. Thanksgiving, I like to teabag the gravy boats before the guests arrive. Walla Walla, Washington, hello. Okay, so you got to do a bad Larry King impression.
Wow.
You
That
gotta
was
do a
that was
bad-
the revelation.
You got to do a bad Larry King impression.
Okay.
You got to reveal something about yourself on the air that no one should know.
That no one should know.
See where I went? I went to a dark place.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
And then go to the phones.
And then go to the phones.
If, for any chance, You don't feel it?
Yeah.
I can bring up my next guest, and you could pop back in at any point with your Larry King game.
Can you give me or there's an alternative.
You could rise to the occasion and try anything, anything right now.
Kevin.
Bad Larry King impression.
Yeah.
Reveal anything about yourself. Something
that
stupid.
should not be revealed.
Should not be revealed. That's all it is. As Larry King, and then go to the phones. Funny sounding cities. Walla Walla, Washington.
I got a city. I think.
Oh, you got a city. Good.
I think I have a. I think I have a city.
We took care of that part.
Yeah, that one.
Now we just need the reveal.
All right.
And when you're ready, into your camera.
Imagine suspenders.
Big, crazy suspenders.
Yes.
And then
And
shoulder blades that can cut cheese.
There you go. For years, I've enjoyed more than my share of fantasies about white women. Schenectady, New York.
Schenectady, yes!
You're on the air.
That was one of my choices, Schenectady.
I
love Schenectady.
I was channeling.
I also love, first of all, listen, that was a lot of pressure. And I have to thank you for rising to the occasion. I really do. I really do. Because that was not easy.
No.
You know?
Yeah, but I think eventually I got there. I went deep. Maybe not as deep as you with the turkey and the
No. Buddy, I had time to write that. A lot of people can think on their feet. You, my friend, can think on your ass, and I thank you for that.
Kevin Pollak, I love you.
I love
really,
you too, buddy.
Much success here on the Kevin Pollak Chat Show.
I can't wait to have you back when it's a real show.
I would love to. It's a real show now. It's just not really organized or well executed, but it's a real show.
Other than that,
it's fantastic.
It's perfect. I love you, man.
I love you too.
All right.
I'm gonna make room for your next guest. Who am I?
No, don't get up. No? Don't get up. We'll just go to my camera.
Oh, okay, good.
And now you're out of frame, and
And
now
I can-
you can
now I can-
gently
yeah,
move to your left
yeah.
and shut the hell up.
Okay.
All right. That couldn't have gone better. We couldn't be more excited about how great LeVar Burton was to stop by and share everything that he did with us. And thank you for your questions. We will get to more of them with our next guest, I promise. Mac and Jamie are doing their best to forward these questions. If Kevin and LeVar were to do a movie together, would it be like Grodin and De Niro in Midnight Run? I'm sorry we didn't get to that question, but thank you for offering that up. And I want to congratulate, this was brought forward and I didn't get to it. I want to congratulate LeVar for being a non-smoker. And the next time he's on, when he hasn't smoked for, I'm going to say 6 months by then, we'll talk about that. Myself, about 3 weeks away from 2 years being clean from the devil tobacco, and I couldn't be happier for LeVar having beaten that bitch. And as he crawls behind me to get back to his seat, this is the greatest television show in history. And by television, I mean the World Wide Web. It's the greatest because my guests are crawling to get back and forth to their seat. And you know what? They're laughing while they do it. And they may never come back, but I always will have the memory of them doing it the first time they were on. I hope there's a part of me that hopes we're never, ever that slick and we're never that polished and never that well executed. So that the show always has a feel to it of, wow, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. You've got to see this. It's a train wreck. Ready.